This week's episode of the Android Apps Weekly Show is brought to you by Garage Sale. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joe Hindy, the Android Authority App Guy, and welcome back to Android Apps Weekly. This is episode number 127, so let's get started. We managed to get a hold of the official Reddit beta application last week and wanted to show you what it was going to look like. It seems to have full-on material design along with a few other fun features. We don't know when it will be released, but it seems to work pretty well to us. SoundCloud announced a new Stations feature that will give users a chance to listen to music similar to how they do on Pandora. This comes not long after announcing signing deals with a couple of major record labels and announcing that they'll be turning into a legitimate streaming service to battle the likes of Spotify. Nintendo has announced that people can start signing up for the closed beta of Miitomo, their first Android game starting on February 17th. We know a lot about the game already and how it will emulate social media to an extent. However, we won't know everything until we get our hands on it, and that may be sooner than later. Even though most of Apple's applications have received a slew of terrible ratings in the Google Play Store, they seem to be doing pretty good. How good? Well, Tim Cook announced this week that even more Apple apps are likely making their way over to Android. We don't know which ones yet, but our guess is likely iCloud and other productivity apps. Perhaps the biggest app news from the last week was Microsoft purchasing Swiftkey for $250 million. There hasn't been a lot of information from either company yet, but the popular guess is that Microsoft is after Swiftkey's legendary predictive algorithms and AI. For now, nothing is changing, but after seeing what happened to Sunrise Calendar and Accompli, we wouldn't blame you if you were a little bit worried. For even more Android apps and games news and new releases, don't forget to check out this week's newsletter, which is linked in the video description below. We have a metric ton of news that we didn't have time for here. If you want to sign up, you can use the form in the written companion, which is also linked in the video description below, and we'll send you the Android Apps Weekly newsletter every single Sunday. Alright folks, let's take a look at the apps and games that made a big splash this week. As usual, if you want to check any of these apps or games out, you can find those links in the video description below. Sundance VR is a newer application released with the idea of showing you full VR content, including short films, music videos, and other types of VR stuff. It's a newer application and there aren't a lot of selections yet, so you may not find the app overly enjoyable right now. However, if you own Google Cardboard or you're interested in VR, I would keep this application in your crosshairs because it should get a decent selection of unique VR content very soon. The latest LEGO game has hit the Google Play Store, and like many were before it, this one is entirely free with no in-app purchases. This one continues the Ninjago series where the prior game left off and includes a lot of the same graphics and mechanics as prior Ninjago games. There is a stealth element where you can hide in the shadows instead of engaging in fights, and the controls are very simple to use. It's a great title for kids or adults, and it's especially great if you're low on money. Marvel Avengers Academy is the latest adventure simulation game from Tiny Co. They are the same developers who did Family Guy: The Quest for Stuff, so you may be familiar with their work already. The game lets you play as your favorite Avengers as teenagers who are just beginning to find their abilities. You'll battle bad guys, level up your characters, and even do teenager stuff like go out on dates. It's a mixture of adventure and simulation, so there will be some management here and there, and then some action here and there. It's free to download, but it does have in-app purchases. Promo Codes is a new application that is meant to take advantage of the new promo codes featured in Google Play. It's actually very simple. Developers sign up for the service, and once per day, people using the application can check and see if they win a free promo code. If they do, they get a paid app for free, and if not, well, better luck tomorrow. It's a fun and unique way for developers to utilize their promo codes, and even if the users lose out, they get a chance to see a new application every day. This should be on every smartphone, and you should get it. Adventures of Mana is a classic RPG that was originally released on the Game Boy in the early 1990s. Don't worry though, because Square Enix has updated the graphics and soundtrack to make it look and sound way better than it did back then. The storyline and content remains intact, and you'll once again play as the hero trying to keep the Dark Lord Glaive from reaching the sacred mana tree and destroying all life. It has simple touch-based controls, and there is also a steep price tag, but at least there are no in-app purchases. This week's Android Apps Weekly show is brought to you by Garage Sale. Garage Sale is a Craigslist style of application where people can post things they want to sell and then you buy them. Unlike Craigslist, you'll be required to create an account before you can interact with the site, which is a mechanic we liked a lot. From there, you simply search around, find the stuff you want, and then you buy it. During our testing, we found all kinds of stuff from clothes to electronics and even an engagement ring. You can browse various categories in areas near you, and you can even leave seller feedback, which helps show which sellers are the most reliable. It has a lot going for it, and it's definitely worth a shot if you're getting ready to sell some stuff or you just want to look around. It's totally free, so check it out and show your support for the Android Apps Weekly show. Once again, I'm Joe Hindi, the Android Authority app guy. While you're here, why not subscribe to the Android Authority YouTube channel? If you're hanging out for a minute, we have a couple of awesome videos for you to watch right over there, and they're also linked up in the video description below for you folks on mobile. Finally, don't forget to check out the written companion, which is in the video description below, and don't forget to sign up for that newsletter. As always, thanks for watching, everybody, and have a wonderful day.